for China's perspective on Israel's strikes against Iran. Let's go now with Wang Jin. He's the director of the Center of International Strategic Studies at the Northwest University of China. Great to have you on the program tonight. She has called on Israel and Iran to de-escalate. What's at stake for China if they don't?
Well, I think the China stance is very clear that all kind of the tension in the Middle East would harm everybody and should be made from the efforts to pacify the tension through the diplomatic and political way. And on the one hand, China condemns the military strikes from Israel against the targets inside Iran and maintains that it is a very direct violation of sovereignty and independence of Iran. And these activities are directly against the norms and the regulations of international organizations. And on the other hand, we should know that there were maybe some concerns from Israel. And under the existing international and regional mechanism, and these concerns from Israel might not be answered. And so that's why the Iran nuclear issue and the regional security issue in the Middle East are very, very complicating. And so that's why the political dialogue and the negotiation, mediation are highly necessary right now, particularly given the very rising tension here.
It wasn't too long ago that China brokered a deal between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Wang Yi said it would drive a, quote, wave of reconciliation in the Middle East and pledged to firmly support Tehran on issues concerning core interests. How invested is China in Iran's future?
I think China will continue to develop the kind of the very important comprehensive partnership cooperation with Iran as well as other regional countries, because we know that Iran is a very important partner for China under the Belt and Road Initiative, and also Israel, we have to say, is also the important partner for the Belt and Road Initiative, as well as many cooperation under the bilateral cooperative mechanism and framework. So like any other countries in the Middle East, China is willing to push forward the cooperation over many fields, including oil, gas, and other infrastructure and other sectors. So that's why I think this is why China expressed very sincere hopes that the war between Israel and Iran could be pacified and the new dialogues could be established and the mediation could intervene.
And China has said that it's ready to work with all parties to play a constructive role in restoring peace and stability there. Could China construct something similar, perhaps, between Israel and Iran, much like they did with Saudi Arabia?
I think for sure. I think China is willing to do that, but we have to know that we're talking about different things. I mean, Saudi Arabia and Iran, they have the willingness to be closer to each other. And before they come to Beijing, I mean, to start the process of so-called rapprochement, they have already held 6 rounds of talks in Oman, in Iraq, and China become the very, very important facilitator for the peace. But then when we're looking at the ongoing war between Israel and Iran, the hostility is still high and the tension is still rising. It is very difficult for China to facilitate the peace within a short term. But again, no matter what happens, China will continue our efforts to contribute to the peace process. I mean, not only through the political diplomatic way, but also on the multilateral international organizations.
Just briefly, it's still unclear how involved the US is and will be in this conflict. How might a US role impact China's?
I think the United States' role should be understood as a determining one, because China, like Russia and any other countries, particularly from European unions, we hope that the peace could go back, and we hope that the tension could be pacified. The problem is that China and other countries, we have no determining voices over the ongoing war. We cannot determine the policies of Iran or Israel. But then the United States might play the bigger role, because the United States can to some extent, very seriously influence the behaviors of Israel, and also could direct the future for the war between Iran and Israel. So that's why I think the United States' role should be much more highlighted, and China would support if the United States push the wars back to the peace pace, and China will, of course, support United States activities.
Right. Wang Jin, we'll leave it there. Really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.